Welcome, dear listeners, to Drums of the Storyteller, where the echoes of ancient tales come alive. Tonight, we gather around the fire to share a story that has traveled through time, a tale of love, betrayal, and the unyielding power of truth. In the heart of Ibadan, where the baobab trees whisper secrets to the wind, there lived a woman whose blindness hid a vision far greater than sight. Her name was Abisola, and her story is one of courage, forgiveness, and the wisdom of the ancestors. So sit back, let the rhythm of the drums guide you, and prepare to journey into a world where the eyes of the heart see what the eyes of the body cannot. This is the tale of the eyes of truth. The sun rose over the bustling village of Ibadan, casting golden rays over the thatched roofs and dusty paths. The air was filled with the sounds of chirping birds, the distant hum of market vendors, and the laughter of children playing near the river. In the heart of the village lived a couple, Adéwálé and his wife, Abisola. Adéwálé was a handsome and charismatic man known for his charm and wit, while Abisola was a kind and gentle soul loved by everyone in the village. But Abisola had one challenge: she was blind. She had lost her sight in a tragic accident many years ago, but her spirit remained unbroken. She relied on her other senses to navigate the world, and her husband, Adéwálé, was her guiding light. Abisola navigating her world with grace, using her heightened senses to interact with her community, helping the villagers such as teaching children to weave baskets or advising women on herbal remedies. Her kindness and resilience make her beloved by all. Adéwálé, on the other hand, is a man who once deeply loved his wife but has grown distant over time. He struggles with his inner conflict, his love for Abisola versus his desire for freedom and excitement. This internal struggle makes him vulnerable to Ìyáwó's advances, Abisola's best friend. Adéwálé, however, had a secret. He had grown restless in his marriage, feeling burdened by the responsibility of caring for a blind wife. He began to seek comfort in the arms of another woman, Abisola's best friend, Ìyáwó. Ìyáwó was beautiful, cunning, and manipulative. She had always been jealous of Abisola's kindness and the love the villagers had for her. She saw Adéwálé's weakness as an opportunity to steal him away and have him all to herself, since her friend was blind and unable to see. She's not just a villain, but a woman who feels overshadowed by Abisola's goodness. Her jealousy and desire for Adéwálé are rooted in her own insecurities, as she manipulates Adéwálé, using her beauty and charm to lure him into her web. One evening, as the village prepared for the annual festival, Adéwálé told Abisola that he had to travel to a nearby town to trade goods. Abisola, trusting as always, wished him a safe journey and kissed him goodbye. But instead of leaving the village, Adéwálé sneaked off to Ìyáwó's hut, where they spent the night together, laughing and plotting whispered promises and the growing tension as they tried to keep their relationship hidden. Unbeknownst to them, the village elder, Baba Agba, had seen Adéwálé entering Ìyáwó's hut. Baba Agba was a wise and respected man, known for his ability to see beyond the surface. He sensed that something was amiss, but decided to wait and watch, knowing that the truth always reveals itself in time. Meanwhile, Abisola begins to sense that something is wrong. She hears whispers in the market, feels Adéwálé's distance, and notices Ìyáwó's sudden coldness toward her. One night, Abisola had a dream where the spirits of her ancestors warn her of betrayal. She wakes up troubled but decides to trust her husband, believing in the strength of their love. One day, a traveling herbalist arrived in the village. She was known as Tonya Alaano, the Mother of Mercy. She had heard of Abisola's plight and offered to help. Using her knowledge of ancient herbs and remedies, Humia Allah Anu prepared a special potion for Abisola. She instructed her to drink it every night for 7 days, promising that her sight would be restored. Abisola didn't tell her husband, as she wanted it to be a surprise when her sight was restored. But before treating Abisola, she performs a ritual to communicate with the ancestors, who reveal that Abisola's blindness is not just physical but also symbolic of her inability to see the truth around her. Abisola, filled with hope, followed the herbalist's instructions for 7 days. Each night, Abisola drinks the potion and experiences vivid dreams that foreshadow the revelations to come. On the final night, as the moon hung high in the sky, Abisola felt a strange sensation in her eyes. Slowly, the darkness began to fade, and shapes started to form. She has a vision of Adéwálé and Ìyáwó together, which leaves her shaken. When she wakes up with her sight restored, she is filled with both joy and dread. With her sight restored, Abisola saw the world in a new light. She refused to tell anyone about her sight, as advised by the herbal doctor. She noticed the way Adéwálé avoided her gaze and the whispers that stopped when she entered a room. One day, while walking to the market, she saw Adéwálé and Ìyáwó together, holding hands and laughing. Her heart shattered, but she remained calm, determined to uncover the truth, as both of them still believed she was blind. Abisola followed them secretly for days and found that Adéwálé always goes to Ìyáwó's place and sometimes spends the night. This broke her heart. Abisola finally decides to confront her husband that night. As Adéwálé goes off to Ìyáwó's house, Abisola follows behind to catch them in the act firsthand. Heartbroken, she confronts them in a powerful and emotional scene. Adéwálé, my husband, I have regained my sight, but I see more than just the world around me. I see the lies you have been living. Adéwálé, caught off guard, tried to deny it, but the guilt in his eyes betrayed him. Abisola turned to Ìyáwó, who had been hiding in the shadows. Ìyáwó, my friend, how could you betray me like this? Adéwálé tries to justify his actions, blaming Abisola's blindness for his infidelity, while Ìyáwó taunts her, claiming that Adéwálé never truly loved her. The next day, the village gathered in the square. Baba Agba stood at the center, holding his staff of wisdom. Adéwálé and Ìyáwó were brought before him, their heads bowed in shame. Abisola stood tall, her eyes filled with both sorrow and strength. Baba Agba spoke, Adéwálé, you have broken the sacred bond of marriage. Ìyáwó, you have betrayed the trust of a friend. The consequences of your actions will be decided by the spirits of our ancestors. Some defended Adéwálé, citing his contributions to the community, while others condemn him for his betrayal. Ìyáwó's past actions are also brought to light, revealing a pattern of manipulation and deceit. The villagers watched in silence as Baba Agba performed a ritual, calling upon the ancestors to guide their judgment. The wind howled and the sky darkened. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning struck a nearby tree, splitting it in two. Baba Agba interpreted this as a sign. Adéwálé, you will be banished from the village for 7 years. During this time, you will wander the land, seeking redemption. Ìyáwó, you will be stripped of your status and forced to live on the outskirts of the village, shunned by all. Unknown to everyone that both Abisola and Ìyáwó were both pregnant for Adéwálé. After the verdict, Abisola told the villagers that she was pregnant, and Ìyáwó also mentioned she had something to say too, that she was also carrying Adéwálé's child. Everyone was stunned, wondering what will happen to the women. since Adéwálé was to be banished from the village for 7 years. With Adéwálé and Ìyáwó gone, Abisola began to rebuild her life. 9 months later, she gave birth to a girl. She opened her home to other women who had been wronged, offering them shelter and support. The villagers admired her strength and resilience, and she became a symbol of hope and forgiveness. Adéwálé faces numerous challenges, including hunger, loneliness, and encounters with wild animals. These experiences humble him and force him to confront his mistakes. Years later, Adéwálé returned to the village, a changed man. He had spent his time in exile reflecting on his actions and seeking forgiveness from the spirits. He knelt before Abisola, tears streaming down his face. Abisola, I am sorry for the pain I caused you. I have learned the value of love and loyalty. I do not expect your forgiveness, but I hope you can find peace. Abisola looked at him with compassion. Adéwálé, forgiveness is not for you, it's for me. I have found peace, and I wish the same for you. I have moved on, and you should too. She called Kemi, her daughter, and introduced her to Adéwálé. Unfortunately, Ìyáwó passed away during childbirth, as well as the baby. The story ends with Abisola sitting under the great baobab tree, surrounded by children eager to hear her story. She tells them about the importance of truth, loyalty, and forgiveness, leaving them with a powerful message. The eyes of the heart see what the eyes of the body cannot. Her story spreads far and wide, becoming a lesson for generations to come. The village of Ibadan thrived, and Abisola's legacy lived on. Adéwálé moved to another village, never to be seen or heard. True strength lies in forgiveness, and the eyes of truth will always reveal what the heart tries to hide. Betrayal may cause pain, but it is through healing and compassion that we find peace. And so, dear listeners, the story of Abisola reminds us that truth, like the drumbeat, cannot be silenced. It echoes through the ages, teaching us the value of loyalty, the strength of forgiveness, and the wisdom of the ancestors. Abisola's journey shows us that even in the darkest moments, the eyes of the heart can guide us to light. Let her story be a lesson to us all, a reminder that the choices we make ripple through time, shaping not only our lives, but the lives of those around us. Thank you for joining us tonight around the fire. Until next time, may the drums of wisdom guide your path, and may the stories of our ancestors live on in your hearts. This is Drums of the Storyteller signing off. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment below.